Ghana for Monsorio, Ghana for Monsorio, a Yamunti and no here Tiriaba. Ghana for Monsorio, Ghana for Monsorio, a Yamunti and no here Tiriaba. Ghana for Monsorio, Ghana for Monsorio, a Yamunti and no here Tiriaba. Ghana for Monsorio, Ghana for Monsorio, a Yamunti and no here Tiriaba. Yamama Kwaba de Ba Onya TV so and ne anumrei a higher the evidence show. And if ye said the Munina Munim no nano koda me ka say and ne emrenina. Ye be devote to the bank issues na and this for free as ye home propaganda. Wamon crop for na free as ye. Ye propaganda social media say President Mahama anti-man restore wa lances na ye MPP foa nti wa mbremu MPP fo enne me de mre na to na ma set records no straight ama obi ahu na time am wo opposition no ma ewiase nyina ba bia te say na do danko akofo adotim odene MPP for team ordering. Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia ni team adding. Na banks na e collapse ye ne ka ho bie ana ama mamfo nya adwumanye. Mo yira fise 2015 President John Mahama egu microfinance e mako 139 Ghana ha 139 ye die dini nyina betu dwa na mom ye ba propaganda na omo ye no afede e bosha a omo sheye no e bosha campaign promises emu dewa ne nsem dewa yen kansem fa nada nkrofo yen penti abana no ye the right no na manfo hun se on pegana fo yi no mumum na pegana fo yi ema presidential candidate na gina ho ka kire Ghana fo se omunya gidie wonu mu na omonto abama no na omonto abama na obe make sure say oba restore obi atlantis ama no without delay. And na matnas ye ma obia otie ene anwumre evidential atiase say emra ehwe say ye di esika ebekọ akoto bange ni yakọ akoyie any other savings and loans nyina no ni ye frɛ no emra ye pass 2016 at 9:30 Savings and Deposit Act no Savings and Deposit Institution Act no at 9:30 2016 President John Mahama Ebrana obu mine 2016 no ena ma wo mo pass ye because of microfinance issues whereby ye DKM ene ho ensensem ento gina simpie so e ka kire Ghana fo se de mra na ono de aba no bank bia ni ho a aban ne ba behwe ama o madi timamfo sika ana shareholders ebe di timamfo sika ye be fa omo ho on be fa omo ho adie. And to pass at 9:30 Savings and Deposited Act no at 9:30 2016 and a debate no address Parliament 2016 says Samrana Base shareholders any funders edi and Crofosika Modiakwa Koto Bangia. O mine mra no mbere ebedie. Enti me no mia no na nwumre. Sir President Mahama na this time ran by because of what happened. DKM issues ne other matters na enunti na ode atate ne baye in 2016 dia. Eba ne se no nu twa ne ho. Ebe defend shareholders ya. Wo ma di nkrofo a ye do musika akoto bank. Obe defend wo mo say. Na ni kwan se aban no e revoke wo mo lances. And so President John Mahama ne pass at 9:30 say Bangia wo a regulatory minimum no a year below 400 million as I say ye wo bank no we di omo koya deka ukwabro 400 million o capital deficit no as I say ye minimum 400 million we womo koya kokoduru 7.4 million a President Mahama nim ba na ope to minti na ono ankasa ne mara ode baaye SDI Savings and Deposits Institution Act a kire say shareholders ne Fatima mufuotika sa manfo abebie bank no ma shakira fankrofo sika na nkrofo mdo musika koto ho na shareholders na fasika na dia obe make sure say sa nkrofo ni nyina ebeti wo Ebra President Mahama this amra ne ba obe free so no na onimpefe say ya wo banks binum wo ha emu mpanyfo afa enkrofo sika omde akwakoto adi na oyi nani owie ya na nado aban ba ya obeye the right thing no na wayi U10 senka ono a nka onwu bank no nka odisika be den ebe wuram wamre kwa ne penso sa banks yo disika wuram anye yie enu nti na okopa ase Savings and Deposited Act 930 say womo mbeye sabia no o man ne mra no omunni afeso o capital deficit ne ba below 400 million as say ye geo lances President Mahama na this amran ba enye MPP and na ya tnas ye fano bank one after the other near MPP bato ya na approatite na bank na kwapem na masisa enkrofo sika na NDC ye propaganda including President Mahama say oba odom lances be ma omo knowing very well or can say enkrofo a ye yi o madi nyina oba odom lances be ma omo ne asana for omo adwuma knowing very well say ono na ye mra say o capital deficit ne ye below 400 million Nature say what the abro as say a Joe Bang no on yes amara no and so political power all pay ewo kwambone suntino or can send my banner to some people ban over by time and no by you know nimpefe say bang bia ni ho betima restore wo land to am because near na bang in ye no and yet but a very difficult for President Mahama to come back and tell Ghanaians to say, "Men me catch Ghana for me ba." Banks na me do am lances be ma omo. Na mom enye yie. E be difficult so betima yes ade no. Because at the time na oka no nim say enye yie. But o come amanfo anya do ene anije ahu say ye na enye. Am pipi na enye. But sa nyama boni we nyina no e koso won penso wo. Se nkrofo di sika ekoto bank. Na shareholders no fasika no ni nyina si won penso esia no matam sika free Bank of Ghana no mo dia bewuram na mpanfo na se na di sika no esia o mo fa nkrofo sika na bank no ekofama no matam Ghana fo sika free Bank of Ghana no mu dia bewuram na mpanfo na sana ye dai asafo ni scanning nyina na o ma chafa ni nyina si ni penso 2014 to 2016 and to am prepare report to come and say banks na nie konie no it's about time say you free as ye punish shareholders binum because mu na edi nkrofo sika wo mate fifire teacher fo boabo sika no nurse fo boabo sika no adwadifo boabo sika no Ghana mrantie ne maba bi boabo sika no say wo mo de kwakoye business ya savings papa bi ekwa akotobon wo mo ye savings ya na shareholders no atranse sika na di enti wo mo tena ase eye sa amara no se be ye be chiche wo mo enso akire okotena afie no o se ye mfa sobo emo MPP moma ye build a strong financial economy because on man bia no obetimi agina ne nanso a financial sector no e wo so a obetimi agina ne nanso enti ye ba ye ne yesese ye ne sen ye kan recapitalization no esese ye hwe banks na adidi atrase na nkrofo do omo sika koto a yensanka na shareholders ne de yard foforo no yenhwe na sa nkrofo no nyina no ye dika ne de oman ni sika ama omo say bank ne ba begu munyi ebi 100 million 400 million ebi ji 600 million nso omo je yade chinya na o ma safo no sika no e de akwakogu amanone akofo ado ne ba omi abone omo ye ne say se yantima nye saade na ne se yensu yi ani se de Prez Mahama yi na ni na ye beda asore no enipa be ko problem mu no anya asenkuma enti yenye recapitalization na wo mo aye betima consolidate wo mo yen consolidate na anya ahoden na wo mo di abro no so no yen revoke wo mo lances no ne yen kekansi ani and this nim sa niama we nyina and now menemo ka say the finance minister nim say enya possible say boss I say ye do mo lances be ma mo na ban ba ko no MPP party no mo tim odin no onim say ye propaganda campaign message eye nada President Mahama no gina simpie so kan ye no onim say enye yie enti nano they want to change the narrative say lances na ma yemfa so bo no mo MPP at the time now okasa obe restore no ade na wahu emra na wa nkasa wo de baaye no na emra na kade ba semfa restoration of lances ho na emra na kase so capital deficit kwa below 400 7.4 billion yenkoso man run bank na dabi emra Prez Mahama wo de bae wo so capital deficit ultimi dika o capital every bank bia no pay at 930 no ya ye ne say o capital deficit no should be 400 million where the bank bitimi koya koduru 7.4 billion Ghana cedis capital deficit na chese wabu mrano so abu mrano so a any kwan say ye makwan kra ma wo shareholders nimpo eye any other business in the country. And so politics in tea ye nyankrofo eso omo so omo ye omo political campaign na eso so mbaye no omo ye and nemo pesa mu changing narratives na ya baba ni ya baba expose mu ni edikan mikita press release and in from the Bank of Ghana press release ye dating of 1st August 2018 from the Bank of Ghana dated 1st August 2018 page 6 of the release, and American canning. Or see, Uni Bank had given out amount totaling 1.6 billion. Uni Bank had given out amount totaling 1.6 billion to shareholders and related parties in the form of loans and advances without due process and in breach of relevant provision of Act 930. In addition, these shareholders and related parties had also been given amount totaling 3.7 billion Ghana cedis, which were neither granted through the normal credit delivery process nor reported as part of the bank's loan portfolio. They were also not secured with collateral or attracted no interest income for Uni Bank. Altogether, shareholders and related parties of Uni Bank had taken out an amount of 5.3 billion, constituting 75% of total asset of the bank. 75%. Muntio, paragraph wene na medeba no. Or see Uni Bank, e kan bank who a ye revoke o mo lances no. Bank of Ghana chiremu say, nienti a ye revoke o mo lances. Andis nim pefe say 2018 no na MPP aban kan nokre kire Ghana fo. Ekwana na Uni Bank de enkrofo a omudo omusika koto fa so. Eno na report wi kire mu say Uni Bank na ewo honom shareholders wo mo na ye bank mpanyimfo no wo matam sika ye timamufo de sika koto honom no shareholders na tam sa sika na de abo mo ho bosia eye 1.6 billion Ghana cedis ya report no kire say omo de bo mo ho bosia anfa proper procedure so as required under Act 930. Just a man follow due process no eno ye one. Ni atoso biem. The American kan ye nyina ne se omo Uni Bank mpanyimfo no biem. Asane yi nkrofo sika eda bank ho, momonefo sika, kobifo sika, depositors fo sika no. Wo mu yi 3.7 billion. Eno no de wo man twere se eye bosia o man record so enso o mo twen sika no edi free mu o mo koye no enkrofo sika ye de koto onom no na mpanfo na bo awura bank ho afa mu 3.7 billion eno no de o man record se eye bosia ana we ne ye de kwakoye chese ye free money o mafa entu kan nyina boma shareholders no afa depositors sika afri bank ho ankrofo tifi o mani da so ne se ye wo sika da bank ye wo sika da bank no sa na hwe ni kutreyam empanyimfo o mo bie bank no ache sika na ye den adi we nye abronya report a Bank of Ghana report o mo de ba 1st August in the form of press release 2018 and ekasai. Na ufani nyina na 3.7 omu yi ya o man kire se ye bosia na omu fi se ye sika egu warehouse nti yensesa na omu sesa kono ene ni omu atwere se ye bosia 1.6 billion no wo kan nyina aboma empanfo omu hwe bank ne so ene omu ho nkrofo atam enkrofo sika free bank ho 5.3 billion Ghana cedis. Now the kwa ohanchiche mumu sa ofa bank ni nyina japade a now convert sa sika we at the kwa oha enchiche mumu a 75% aduosunum Se bank na japadie ye 100% ya. Mpanyimfoɔ na wie japadie ne 75%. Nti aka 25% say ya ye die sika koto no. Ye dia. Ne ye kira ne say se usika da bank. Na se bank mpanyimfoɔ edi sika no mu 75% ya. E kira se omuntimi ntuaka. E kira se bank no access no aka no aye negative 25%. Entimi ntuaka. Bank bia access aka negative 25% no. E kira se wuntimi ntuaka. Until depositors ever struggle to withdraw or get their money back. I know your first point, no. Where a Bank of Ghana release. Sanyama we nyina na wo ho ato forcing as a deputy finance minister under Setepe aware. And no ka share and no de be ye politics. MPP for aye pese ye the right thing no. Ye mom ye ho be ye time e wo Ghana fo anim. But this is the report. Ye mom ye ho be ye yi e wo Ghana fo anim. Na Ghana fo mpese ombetie yasem omope propaganda na tie ompe ne odina simpie so say me ba ya bank ne ye den eba nti yasem de obi anye ready so obetie MPP asem. Point 2 no or say out of the total customer deposit of 4.3 billion Tio, Awrewo, and Semasina, Ghana no, yet based on propaganda. And this 2020-2024, one major campaign message against MPP, a galamsey and financial sector, a banks ya, no more yama bonia, based on Emra President Mahama Debaye. Na MPP yes ombe implement sanse ye o mine mra ni ye the right thing no ni nya a strong financial economy no MPP sabi ye ho be ye time to say a fear because and this be ye propaganda ageni ni ese so geni no apenti ye say ye nye papa. Point number 2 muntie ni ye areho or say out of total customer deposit of 4.3 billion, out of total customer deposit of 4.3 billion, 2.3 billion Ghana cedis was not disclosed to the Bank of Ghana. Uni Bank no. Deposit in kwa moji free nkrofo ho, fasika bra, fasika beto, fasika bra. So we dwadeni fasika be sevu unya wa ba beje we mra no wo mutimi gigi nkrofo sika saa 4.3 billion Ghana cedis. Na every bank biya ewo omaimo ha no. At the close of the day of work, as a same report to the number of deposits amoji at the Bank of Ghana to the end of the year. Now Uni Bank J and Crawford deposit customers sika amoji J no. A year 4.3 billion Ghana cedis no. Emu 2.3 billion Ghana cedis there. Omo DCA Bank of Ghana say and on the omanyi sika bia na che say 2 billion and omo disclose ye out of the 4.3 no na mom 2.3 there oman disclose amfa ma Bank of Ghana or see loans and advances to customers were also overstated by 1.3 billion in prudential returns to the Bank of Ghana. yakokwaji loan a ebia afimu no nyina womo apply so mo pebosia ewo Bank of Uni Bank hono se bosia womo advance ye eye 500 million Uni Bank mpanyfo no epesa womo dada Bank of Ghana nti womo recordo ye e ka say amanfo ayama womo bosia eye 1.5 billion eso no womo boa untie ne you say you apply mumma a loan mumma 2,000 mumma 5,000 mumma say bosia mumma ye nyina say ye 200 million womo report wama Bank of Ghana no matwe say 1 billion to cover sikabia womadi kana wia edi free depositors no we Bank of Ghana report pon number 2 e kwana na ye de nkrofo faso no. Point number 3. Over 89% of Uni Bank's loan and advances book of 3.74 billion as of 31st May 2018 was classified as non-performing. In addition to amount totaling 3.7 billion given out to shareholders and related parties which were not recorded as part of the bank's loan portfolio. Point number 3 no. Bosia ye kan wasem bank ni sika. So yen into access dia me ka say o ma remove 75% manaka negative 25 no. Bosia shareholders edema o mo ho nyina no emu 89% na shareholders no enye o madwen say o mo discount ba nti o mo classify sika o mo fa free bank no as non-performing loans. Nature say, Bosia yadia, yentimi ntua, and I yentimi near chilling concordia. And soon as cano was shareholders and all. Penfua, woman a bank in a day, a year modia. Bank of Ghana, they can say. Point number 4. After making allowances for impairment to recognize the deterioration in the quality of Uni Bank assets and other requirements under Bank of Ghana's capital adequacy framework, Uni Bank was balance sheet. No, there's an error, grammar error here. Uni Bank sheet was insolvent with negative. I may correcting it here. With negative shareholders fund of 6.78 billion Ghana cedis as at 31st May 2018, representing asset of 2.38 billion Ghana cedis, less liability of 9.15 billion Ghana cedis. Bangia ni liability and kwaye 9.15 billion Ghana cedis. Ni enyan krofo aba bonten e ba be defend this abangano. The bank therefore has a capital deficit of 7.4 billion Ghana cedis compared to the regulatory minimum of 400 million Ghana cedis. Capital deficit, you know, as you say, 400 million Ghana cedis. Pay Marana Prez Mahama de Baye, no. And so Uni Bank ekoya kokoduru 7.4 4 billion Ghana cedi capital deficit. Ne chese bank no akwa wo ye no hwea enye yie. Enti why na ekwatam 7.4 billion Ghana fosika e de ama no se onkwaso emfa nra ne bank no. Si ya yemra wo manum se wo run bank ya capital deficit no enye 400 million Ghana cedis. Na se bank bitimi kwa man capital deficit no eba be ye 7.4 billion Ghana cedis ya. Ministry of Health wamo budget nuru 7 billion Ghana cedis. Ministry of Education wamo budget nuru 7 billion Ghana cedis. Yes. Ministry of Interior wamo budget nuru 7 billion Ghana cedis. Nti yada individual bi kwa run bank na emrane say you are capital deficit according to the governing law no should be 400 million Ghana cedis. Ne say ekwa kokoduru 7 billion Ghana cedis ya hwan sika ene ye pompe e de akwa wuram de aye bank no. In any case and this maba some say kwabra dufo ya and this ninti and MPP go in bank and now you me catch them say ne capital deficit no na ye 7.4 billion monfa mano no mfa run bank no. Some ba mu mo ye propaganda ba mu. Enti munni any excuse to say ye nya sika ma kwabna to go back and operate the bank. Munni any excuse. Montam 7 billion no emano 7 billion Ghana cedi montam mano. At least don't so levy aba mo make money. At least VAT increment aba mo make money. At least electricity aba mo bu Ghana for faso in terms of tariffs. I'm making money, more money there. Montam 7.4 billion no. Emma kwabra dufo. Nana bank no emra bi. Ne liabilities nyina no na 9 billion. Monfa ma no, montua ho asem na bank no samra bi. Eno na Ghana for hwehwe. Se wuti wiase na se unim nokora na se wonka nokora. Eye wa wasem. Now, last point. Last but one. After making adjustment to Uni Bank balance sheet to offset outstanding debt totaling 428 million 817,000 owned it by government contractors, backed by interim payment certificate issued by the government. The bank's liability, including an amount of 3.4 billion owed to the Bank of Ghana, remains significantly more than its assets and is therefore insolvent. Bank na pre nyina bubu wo ye no hwe nye yie se uyi contractors yo musika wo mo ne call bank ho ekode ebosia ko ekoye o madwuma sika no nyina ye just 400 million. Enti no Bank of Ghana kire se wo mo do o certificate nyina ba kire ye no only 400 million and a bank no de ma contractors se mo nyin konko ye adwuma. Nti ebisa se sika 5.3 billion a shareholders in a fire no adwuma ben no de koye. If contractor sika a omoje ebusian free Uni Bank aye 430 million 5.7 billion na shareholders fire no omo discount fine billion omo discount fine. Na saska we no and what you know, say what tier free bank and liability 9.15 billion. Sirano, woman liability no egusu jinamu around what the way new air quacotria, what the 400 million no air quacotria liability no kana subia. Sirano, womuguso, woman liability no egusu jina 9 billion no. Into a discount yede, a fine. Discount fine. Okay. You go break 1 minute, Mara. Ghana for Monsorio, Ghana for Monsorio, a Yamunti, and no here Tiriaba.
Now the whole truth. See, Bayo say, Padas, and Bayo say, the cow was and say, Bayo say, Nina, and found. Now, did would you Namsa did you Papa, a bit from Waba, and there, Yenina, so would you do when you come home? Now the whole truth. See, Bayo say, Padas, and Bayo say, the cow was and say, Bayo say, Nina, and found. Now, did you would you Namsa did you know Papa, a bit from Waba, and there, Yenina, so would you do when you come home? Now the whole truth. See, Bayo say, Padas, and Bayo say, the cow was and say, Bayo say, Nina, and found. Now, did you know? Would you Namsa did you know Papa, a bit from Waba, and there, Yenina, so would you do when you come home? Now the whole truth. See, Bayo say, Padas, and Bayo say, the cow was and say, Bayo say, Nina, and found. Now, did you know? Would you Namsa did you know Papa, a bit from Waba, and there, Yenina, so would you do when you come home? Now the whole truth. See, Bayo say, Padas, and Bayo say, the cow was and say, Bayo say, Nina, and found. Now, did you know? Would you Namsa did you know Papa, a bit from Waba, and there, Yenina, so would you do when you come home? Now the whole truth. See, Bayo say, Padas, and Bayo say, the cow was and say, Bayo say, Nina, and found. Now, did you know? Would you Namsa did you know Papa, a bit from Waba, and there, Yenina, so would you do when you come home? Now the whole truth. See, Bayo say, Padas, and Bayo say, the cow was and say, Bayo say, Nina, and found. Now, did you know?
Ghana for Monsorio, Ghana for Monsorio, a Yamunti, and no here Tiriaba. Ghana for Monsorio, Ghana for Monsorio, a Yamunti, and no here Tiriaba. Ghana for Monsorio, Ghana for Monsorio, a Yamunti, and no here Tiriaba.
The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored.
A few moments later.
We would give back the licenses of those whose banks were unjustifiably taken. There might be financial implications to it, but we must be prepared to bear those financial implications, because when government does wrong, it must restitute. We would give back the licenses of those whose banks were unjustifiably taken. There might be financial implications to it, but we must be prepared to bear those financial implications, because when government does wrong, it must restitute. We would give back the licenses of those whose banks were unjustifiable. Banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. We would give back the licenses of those whose banks were unjustifiably taken. There might be financial implications to it, but we must be prepared to bear those financial implications, because when government does wrong, it must restitute. We would give back the licenses of those whose banks were unjustifiably taken. There might be financial implications to it, but we must be prepared to bear those financial implications, because when government does wrong, it must restitute. We would give back the licenses of those whose banks were unjustifiably taken. There might be financial implications to it, but we must be prepared to bear those financial implications, because when government does wrong, it must restitute. We would give back the licenses of those whose banks were unjustifiably taken. There might be financial implications to it, but we must be prepared to bear those financial implications, because when government does wrong, it must restitute. We would give back.
A few.
The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored.
Oh, yeah, TV, so someone video no. Where ye? Yes, it chinanim da wa ye nya mountain. And I say kakum. Ye jeno adiena num. Kakum. Yes, kakum. Ye jeno adiena num. Ha. And no na multi no. So I am president in Timintin Coca say. Kakum normal you mean fan manamum kakum ye genade na num. Oh report where one bank report no. Or see to summarize as of 31st May 2018 Uni Bank was insolvent with a capital deficit of 7.4 billion Ghana cedis as compared to the regulatory minimum of 400 million Ghana cedis. Yeah, why mara? So, bank wunya hoden kwa capital deficit no. Eni kwan se a quarter 400 million Ghana cedis. With the capital deficit, a koye koduru 7.4 billion Ghana cedis. And so politics here, enye papa. Ni yemfa nokre because ye kan nokra omonto aba manti ye nitro enkyere Ghana fo na no mbetwe so ato aba no report no nie ene boss a wo hye ye ni nyina jebo ye nkase nyame tie wo toro a wudi ye ene ma wudi nkunim mentra nkase etoro a wudi ye nti nyame adom wawe ni nti no ye de obaye memfa nyame dini emma saade we mu because nyankopon emwa trofo na mo tro na wudi ye na Ghana fo se wo tro no na ye wo so the banks beba wo be restore mo makoye adwuma restore na mo saade bone we nu esi wo penso nti wakwa ababie ma babia wo be yi sika 7.4 billion no de akoma Uni Bank nko ano yima omo me twice no and a capital adequacy ratio of negative 74.65%. Sausha SDI savings and deposit taking institution na o capital adequacy ratio no should be 10%. But the minimum capital adequacy ratio of a bank should be 10%. But when there could do 74.65%. And so now NDC for say yeah, and people for 9 year, and DC for say yeah, and people for in the Pabona for and ne bank yeah. The capital adequacy ratio. Emran say 10%. Na okọ ya akodu 74% no. Nche se bank na kwapem. Ye dini ye bibi enye yie. Enti ne maba na mo baye. Momfa nyama yenhwe. Momfa nyama yenhwe. Osi Uni Bank is also cash flow insolvent, given that a significant portion of the assets are locked up in the interest-free loan and other advances to its shareholders and related parties. And I don't know. Ye call Royal Bank. I say na ye can bank nkwa because I must start propaganda say lances, you know, and to me, they should blame MPP. They should do this. Royal Bank, the Royal Bank, and Royal Bank was launched as a universal bank in 2012. It has over the last few years experienced solvency and acute liquidity challenges. An on-site examination conducted by the Bank of Ghana in 31st March 2018 revealed a number of irregularities. The Bank of Ghana appointed an advisor for Royal Bank in May 2018 to advise management of the bank with the primary mandate to stabilize and improve the affairs of the bank. Based on the Bank of Ghana's assessment, Royal Bank is insolvent and faced with acute liquidity challenge. Liquidity, gakudi ganama. Brofotintin ya ye kanyina. Liquidity ya cash you. Brofotintin liquidity ya nigri. And to a matsam nyina ne say, wamukwa ye Royal Bank examination no. A man for mukoye investment wo ho. A man for mukoye savings wo ho. Scanning na ya mutu. Afababi where a report. Na woma ho de no awo fam sa bra bank ne kire say. Bank of Ghana report ne kire say bra ye bi bank no. 2012 NDC pencil akopensa President Mahama ebeko fie a osana behye bono bank no womo ye no basa nkrofo sika womo de kwoto ho na manfo womo ye investment no na womo ni ani daso yentie o said the bank suffered severe capital impairment due to under provisioning for loans, overestimation of investment with other financial institutions, and overstated of capital on account of fixed assets, which were rejected by the Bank of Ghana for capital purposes. So the midi can you know, a man for investment or my yen basa. Sikano as a second report on daily basis, other investment, whether deposit receive or whatever, and I say yeah bond. Nina ye overstated to deceive the Bank of Ghana officials. And ye kito mumu say or say this resulted in an adjusted capital of negative 484 million Ghana cedis, yielding a capital adequacy ratio of negative 80.53%. President Mahama now the bar 2015 no a specialized and deposit taking article. You see, bank no will minimum capital adequacy ratio at 10%. Minimum. Amrano ebema kwany minimum. Where the Royal Bank koya kokodru 80.53% say a protect in Uni Bank no. Or say a capital deficiency of 567.78 million and a network of negative 498 million as at 31st May 2018. Enti mumisa to force in say as a finance expert se bank bi abakosem nie bank bi records nia sa bank no ye mane ye adwuma ana say ye revoke ne land mumisa no as a finance expert. And so at the time now to forcing Ejina President Mahama chi omo ye propaganda nya na to force in him say sa banks ni nyina no nokre banks ni ye ma omo ye adwuma ombe kum Ghana for nti na MPP ye the right thing and so send party beba power manager finance minister nti oditro akasa ni MPP ye no enye na tena NDC ba wanya finance minister di ene nyame nchade all the finance issues ni de nyina wo na aye Royal Bank na capital adequacy ratio no na ye 80.53%. The minimum capital adequacy ratio no is to be 10%. Nti ne obaye na ya hand over the amount. MPP ni pa bono for ye tia ye adwene ye ho ye tifi adwene ho. Enti maba restored bank na wo capital adequacy ratio no aye 80% no restore the allowances for them. I am today calling on to forcing to restore banks your capital adequacy ratio at the time of revocation no the minimum adequacy ratio no on restore mo lances mom ye wo kroma ni ye mo yensam e man say ato is forcing restore the banks now mo capital adequacy ratio e kekanko aya above 80%. Now we need to face the minimum capital adequacy ratio should be 10%. Restore them. Omo call ya come ya do 100% no. Restore them. Ni amount mom say, "We ya finance minister waba Ghana yenya bida." Do it. Because the na President Mahama king kan nyina no na prepare man so nkoka na mbetima ye nti waba ye. Yeah. Or see the bank where are you Royal Bank asem na making? Or see the bank has persistently faced serious liquidity challenges since September 2017, resulting in the continuous breach of the cash cash reserve ratio required by Section 36 of Act 930. Your cash reserve ratio, I should say, will comply. Now, breachy, cash reserve ratio na. Nature say, Uni Bank running bank Kroma. According to President Mahama own law, sa president no kofia otwa no ho ebe kisu die or a prime ra President Mahama na de call parliament me ya pass ye ebe kisu omo. Or say it has survived on liquidity support totaling 295 million tio half na sem no one. You see, banging a yako hisam no tie brofuno how or say it has survived on liquidity support totaling 295 million. E hono na yema hino banging no empa info e fan crofo sika di no ni atam Ghana fo sika from Bank of Ghana ni asandi akomo se momfa nye bank ni ye no matan fadi sanyema omo ye nyina no o minor di kana before ansana ye be revoke lances no kra no na o man Ghana ye di kana tam o man ni sika 295 million at the akomo. This is the report. Or say it has survived on liquidity support totaling 295 million. Liquidity money. Ye do mine sika, bang in painful discano, near trim or mine sika de comomo, ye say by ya, a man for a woman sika domu yamun sisomo, and no ma quapem, intinesa banka said dabi. Dear mo yen mo dear woo. Because be druba binu o mining yasika biem farmer support because ya hun se mo mpanyfo no na mo diska no MPP ko ye we ya ebe ye politics against MPP and never bano. Momo liquidity support. Prez Mahama and never bano. Momo liquidity support to Nubium. Momo liquidity support to Nubium. You will chroma, give it to them. Oh, Kasai cheap. Uni madia wo can say, just for political gains be and na ope, but then you're feasible. And then you're doable under the law. And so I can't add votes. Because I say Dunkati can pray and say, Ghana Hano, or more moon school, or more Kanya dia or Montiasiano, over 60%. And to corner or one DC for Befaso, Adada Ghana for Bia, Tambia the Arena Power Befaso, and Nunti, and NDC, and then Nenano, were much you are there free senior high. And this party no crepa woman say, and this party no one, a dear mumpe, or much you are there a free senior high, and Nuntina Nedrian phone. A Dianel de go and go cran so. I know my head that day man crano, was kumo, because and this impes free senior high. So be abekobi. That be or much you are there now, by that detract romo. Because by a cacrano. Sa propaganda politics more ye need trony and survival no ebetwam and this for you bank ne pro na mo de liquidity support to ko no mo di pro na mo de ko han na wo ye o man no na ban bia ba se no mentwa ma sa mpanfo no ye di scam mo no mo de akoto to afie wa brochire atoto adana kese o Dubai. No mine sand ska ko wura bank mu de ye ba stop MPP ye we ya. Muntu abanti MPP. Munye say ye buy don bank be ma nyame adom waba. Give it to them. San mo liquidity support no bi. Ye wo kroma. Give it to them. Restore it immediately as promised by you. Ye call Beige Bank Limited. Beige Bank Limited. Beige Bank Limited. I see. The Beige Bank commenced banking operation in December 2017 after operating as savings and loans since 2012. A special examination conducted by the Bank of Ghana into the affairs of the bank 6 months after the commencement of its operation revealed that 1. Funds purportedly used by the bank parent company to recapitalize were sourced from the bank through an affiliate company and in violation with regulatory requirement for bank capital. In particular, an amount of 163 million belonging to the bank was placed with one of its affiliate company, an asset management company, and subsequently transferred to its parent company, which in turn purported to reinvest it in the bank as part of the bank capital. The placement by the bank with its affiliate company amounted to 86.86% of its net owned funds as at end June 2018, thereby breaching the regulatory limit of 10%. Furthermore, the purported use of the same funds by the parent company of the bank to reinvest in the bank was in contravention of the Bank of Ghana's requirement for bank capital. Also, the bank has not been able to recover these funds for its operation. Saudi affiliate company, any bank in the Juma, related parties no ni yesafon ni sika no e de kɔ wo affiliate company na affiliate company no atwa ne ho asande sa sika na ba so ode ba be investment e ko wi akire no na bank na ye funfram ama capital adequacy ratio no akwakoduru 86.86%. And so you see a bank e wo kroma. You see a bank kroma. Or say the bank persistently breached the cash reserve requirement under section 36 of Act 930. The quality of the bank's loan portfolio had seriously deteriorated, resulting in a non-performing loans ratio of 72%. Mwan kasa mpanyimfo no klasika amode amama ho no moye mwadwense muntua eno nko aye 72%. Omo say a bank aye buy be sand omo lances ama omo. Yadru Sovereign Bank. Yadru Sovereign Bank. I said that Sovereign Bank Limited, known as Sovereign. Sovereign Bank Limited was launched as a universal bank in January 2016 and began operations in April 2016 as part of Bank of Ghana's investigation into the failure of Capital Bank Limited, currently in receivership. It emerged that Sovereign Bank's initial capital contributed by its shareholders was funded from transfer from Capital Bank, which had been presented to the Bank of Ghana as investment on behalf of the bank. Subsequent to its licensing, a substantial amount of the bank's capital was placed with another financial institution as investment for the bank. Hate you. Who run a bank? Who your bank? I will run a bank. Mona mojimu hundie se mabua mahomo baba ye bank. Sas empemfo anewo capital bank no. Womo safon ni sika na eno bi na omo di ko bie Sovereign Bank. Hey we are see. Womo hwe ya Capital Bank na ho de ni ko fam no. Ena mpemfo no binum ye fast. Edi sika no ko wura Sovereign Bank. Na near Sovereign Bank no so strategy obaye seti wo ye bank. Bank ya wo na ese ka ye proper investment no. Omuna tam omusika de akwa savings and loans company. So omo de kwa ye investment wo. Asem we muntie ne ye. For example, ma menche onati say Bank of Ghana atam sika ba abronye savings and loans e ba be ye investment. What to be that? Bank of Ghana Commercial Bank atam sika akọ abronye savings and loans e di akọ managing director na no bribo an say ye ba be savings and loan a ono atwere ne mranko aho asem na onim no akobie abronye savings and loans so ye managing director near the Ghana Commercial Bank atam krofo sika say yemfa nko abronye savings and loans wa na no bibo na ye managing director emrane atwere ho asem kwa anything about finance bi o ka kire wa obwa na ya tam sika from Ghana Commercial Bank at the core abronye savings and loans ayenim say nipa na wo honom na say managing director no bibo apart from mra any afuo mu asem any history sika sem bia de ontimi manage sika no ma enso ya tam sika no Every Ghana Commercial Bank de ba ho say baba yembe. How? Nye see ya no. Say obia be bank say sovereign bank enim say bank ni. Sana bank ne tam nkrofo sika de cost savings and loans ko investment. Ni nyina ye connection. Idea be ni ho. We need the capacity to run a bank. And so you see at a bank. And the bank or no cost service and loans are bobra. Hey, Ghana politics. Time I ever won't say NDC. Any idea to run the nation, no. Time I Ghana for be who no. Na, in fact, any man say. Time I Ghana for be who say. And this ni ideas, and this in kita dream papa, Emma or mine Ghana, Tama yebehuno, na eniama say. Tama Ghana for be Ghana free, and this propaganda ho. No, Matima free as ya catch no, who say, and this is there never again, no. Na eniama yede, I say. Say you're very, very careful. I say study. Niama yehu. Sema yehu. Na sa politics ya ye no kroma no enye politics papa. Producer, yanko break for video no tum ni yanko break 1 minute mra.
The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored. The banking licenses that were cancelled by this government will be restored.
Yenye our construction bank. Na memfe no nwie on the banks na NDC Ditrono and no social media no. Page 9 of the report. Construction Bank Limited. Construction Bank was launched in May 2017 and commenced operation in December 2017. That time, Krana Finance Minister and taking office. The Bank of Ghana na Juma, Dr. Nasiru, no ye President Mahama appointee, ono nema omo lances. Dr. Nasiru Isaku, no ye President Mahama appointee, ono nema omo lances. Na fe na MPP former government. Na yes actually sign lances at the moment. And commenced operation in December 2017 in the course of the official administration of Uni Bank. The Bank of Ghana discovered discovered certain transactions involving construction bank. Further investigation revealed that 1. The initial minimum paid up capital of the bank provided by its promoter/shareholder was funded by loans obtained from NIB. That is 34 million. An amount of 2. Also, the initial minimum paid up capital of the bank provided by its promoter/shareholder was funded by loans obtained from NIB 34 million and Uni Bank 61 million, contrary to section 9D of Act 930. Neatian say, so be a bangia. President Mahama Mrano deba 2015 no. Yankwa bank in Kwanko Jibusia Emma may be a bank. The former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ishaku Nasiru, or any deputy Johnson Pandit Asiama, or yet the current governor, no munimpefe say. Emrana or Moan Casadeba 2016 no, 2015 no, Emrana Chira say, Abronya Peso be a bangia. Yanko commercial bank, yanko absa, yanko Stanbic, yanko Jibusia, yanko Bie Bank. Any specialized and savings deposit taken at 930 no a bra. And so the former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ishaku Nasiru, Ebuna Niguso, Emaye Lance say construction bank no. Or say an amount of 80 million out of the amount reported as the bank's paid up capital and purportedly placed with NIB and Uni Bank remained inaccessible to the bank. That's how Mokwaji and Ninana Bessin Neno. Omuhumba Biayade Afa. The bank's inability to inject additional capital to restore its capital adequacy to the minimum capital of 120 million required at the date of licensing threatens the safety of deposited funds and the stability of the banking system. Just a time no cry ye man lances no. Sika SSE Kotria and the Toa and the Bank of Ghana say Obetima ye bank no 120 million. One trio, one yes canon tria, and so your man Atlantis say go ahead and operate as a bank. Muntio, ya yamra President Mahama na yamra 2015 say. Before and sana a bank in a betima operate no initial sika, the initial capital no 120 million. As a South the tour, my Bank of Ghana who say you have that money. Construction bank anya 120 million no. And so your man lances say onko operate na onyin krofo sika. And on a Bank of Ghana tena see ye 2018 no say the new governor ne ba ye no and obahwe nkrata ma no say na eba ne sign na required capital na ye 120 million wunya yentuae ne ma lances se ko operate na tena enkrofo sika obaye ne den require capital kire se wo ho odina obetima arane bank no oni o enso yetimi man lances the former governor or the current governor yi no ye deputy omutimi man construction bank lances because na fe na MPP abana na omugusu wo sa na omu di bone na ye den akọ omu di bone nwie ya na omu se ye kọ ne yesese ye ya wie afiachi awe nu be ye ntwehwemu na omu hu nse sikam price so omu di ma Bank of Ghana sa o man fa ma and so Bank of Ghana management then e ma omu lances to operate and at 930 no section 9D no eboabira. Owing to the bank's inability to assess investment purportedly made in its name with other financial institutions, the Bank of Ghana has concluded that A total of 80 million of the bank's 120 initial paid-up capital is unavailable to the bank for its operation, leaving an amount of 40 million, 1/3 of the minimum capital of. And no cry no me 120 million in na ho sika no mo da wo ho 40 million nti e ba ne sign na ultimate operating as a bank nsem no ye na ye tiefo ne ahwefo nyina se wa trader Kwame aboye ho ban no akan ho ma na wotwe nyina yetimi di dwumadie abremo onyankopon kan nyina ho na omo ho ban omo kɔ wedding onyankopon fa omo kɔ samfa omo mra omo kɔ yie omo ahwere omo adehye trader Kwame no enhye omo de na omo ho ban na edadwoda yesia o ha yakase ono Yehowa na waye ye do bibia ase